Well, friends, good morning and welcome. Last class, we learned little bit about accounting aspects of GST. Some basic level accounting we have covered. We'll quickly recapitulate that thing and learn little more. We'll extend our learning on accounting aspects of GST. After that, that is the first part we have planned for today. After that, in the second part or in the next session, what we will do, we'll enter into a new subject that is the concept of supply. Okay, am I audible to you?
Yes,
My
sir.
okay. So,
Yes, sir.
okay. Thank you. I am going for screen sharing. First, let us quickly recapitulate what we have learned, what kind of entries we have done in your previous class. Give me a minute. I will be sharing that screen. I think this Excel file is visible to you. Excel file is visible. Screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yesterday, what we have done, we have taken a simple example. The first case we have seen there is an intrastate sales transaction or intrastate transaction. A person has purchased something intrastate, right, and sold them. He has also paid some intrastate consultation fee and purchased some capital asset also from a furniture store that was also intrastate. And we have seen what kind of entries has to be made. First, what that person had done in this kind of situation. When purchases are made, so obviously purchase account was debited. Then input credit for CGST one separate account, input credit for SGST another separate account were debited. Right. So three debits, one is purchase, CGST input, SGST input. All these three things are purchase is an expenditure. These two things, CGST input, SGST inputs, are current assets. Right? They're current assets. Why they're assets? Just like cash, that also can be used. Okay, that can be converted in. It is readily convertible. Something convertible, or you can say it is equivalent to something like cash because these credits can be used while settling the output liabilities. Right? Then creditor account is credited. I think this is a simple entry. You must have understood this. Then when sales are made, again it is an intrastate set. So debtors account got debited, sales account got credited. But when sales is made, then there is an liability for CGST and SGST. Since this is an intrastate set. So output CGST account was credited, output SGST account was credited. Now tell me these two accounts, output CGST, output SGST. What kind of liability is that? Who can tell me? What kind of liability means? My question is whether they are current liability or non-current liability. Yeah, please reply.
So current.
Current liability, good. So that's current liability. Okay, we have to keep in mind that here in the sales transaction and purchase transaction, the organization recognizes a current liability and current asset. When there is a sales, there is a current liability. When there is a purchase with input credit, there is a current asset, right? So similarly, when consultation fees are paid, locally it is paid. So input has to be added, right? So consultation fee is an expenditure that is recognized. Then input CGST, which is a current asset, the input SGST, which is another current asset, that is also recognized, and that has to be settled by bank. When furniture is purchased or a capital asset is purchased, so that is a capital asset. One asset is created, asset is generated, asset account is debit, and input CGST account, input SGST account. These two another current assets are also created. Okay, and money may be paid to the supplier or maybe Sona's credit. His name may be Sona's credit. Once that is over, we have understood the process is that we have to analyze how much input credit is available and what is the liability and how is this to be settled. In this example, we have understood output liabilities was 13,500 and 13,500 is each for CGST and SGST respectively. And input or ITC was 10,530 for CGST and same amount for SGST. So after settling that, after setting off, that means 13,500 minus 10,530, 2,970 has to be paid by way of CGST, and SGST is also payable 2,970. Now question 2 is that how this amount will be paid, 2,970. How we'll be able to pay this amount? Can anyone tell me?
So through electronic cash ledger.
Yes, through electronic cash ledger. For that thing, we should have sufficient money in that wallet. So money has to transport to that wallet. Okay. So I had shown you earlier how electronic credit ledger or electronic cash ledger looks like. Okay, have you remembered? Earlier in previous classes, you can see, or in recorded classes, that picture or screenshot was there. You can see that thing. Now, friends, so money has to be transferred to electronic cash ledger. So entry will be electronic cash ledger account debit to bank account. Right. At the year end, whatever money is left in this electronic cash ledger, that is also on current asset. That has to be shown under current asset, under cash and cash equivalent. That is one part. Then finally, the output liability has to be set. Output liability which is there, output CGST amount this month, output SGST amount this month. First of all, they will be adjusted against input credit. Input credit, both the amounts are adjusted. CGST against CGST, SGST against SGST. Then the final balance, which is transferred to the electronic cash ledger, that will be also used for settling this liability. Okay. So by applying all these things, you see, finally, initially we had a liability of 27,000, but finally it got reduced to 5,940, and we could settle it at 5,940 by using ITC. Right. So that is our understanding. So for us, our intrastate transactions are concerned. Okay, is it clear to you? If it is clear, then quickly we'll recapitulate the other part. That also we had learned, but we'll quickly revise. If I introduce intrastate transactions, then what kind of treatment will be made? After this, do you have any query? Any doubt you have? Speak yes or no.
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Okay, very good. It's clear. These things will be useful. Now I am introducing some intrastate part. Here there is a purchase from outside state, sales locally, then again outside state sell, but then repair and maintenance bill is paid within the state locally. Then capital asset is purchased locally. Then then finally settle the GST liability. And GST rates are the normal rates are assumed, that 9%, 9%, and 18% for CGST, SGST, and IGST respectively. So first of all, when purchases are made interstate, then what kind of credit will be available? Interstate purchase.
Sir, IGST credit.
IGST credit. So we have given the name as input IGST. Okay, you can give input IGST or IGST input. Normally these kind of names are given. You can give some other name also, but it will be easier if you follow a standard pattern. So what we'll do, the entry for this is that purchase account debit, and since I'm recognizing an input asset, so input IGST account also debit to creditors account. Okay, I think no doubt about it. So previously we had seen it, how similar entries are done for intrastate transaction. Now when sales are made, this sales is local sales. So debtors account is debit this month. Sales account is, as usual, it is credited. But since it is local sales, so two kinds of liabilities are coming. One is output CGST and output SGST. So 13,500 each at the rate of 18%. Okay. So this is clear, local sales, similar entry we had seen earlier. Then one more sale is there, which is interstate sale. In interstate sale, what kind of liability will be getting? In interstate sale, that means CGST liability, SGST liability, or IGST liability.
IGST liability.
IGST liability. So what is done here? Debtors account debit. Okay, debtors account debit, sales account credit, and output IGST account is also credit. Okay, understood? At 18%, this has been credited. Then repair maintenance expenditure. So usual entry, since locally this expenditure has been incurred. So repair maintenance expenditure debit. So we are also recognizing and CGST input ITC, SGST input ITC. Both the amounts are debited and bank account is credited. It is paid. Some capital asset is purchased, so that asset account debit, CGST account debit, and SGST account, that is input CGST account debit, input SGST account debit, and that supplier's account is credited. This is a simple thing, right? So up to this, I don't think there will be any issue. We had discussed it earlier. Now, only issue is that in this kind of transaction or in every organization, we need to do a kind of settlement. We have to see how to settle our liability. So at the month end, this can be done. So our liability, or you can say input means these are our assets. As this much of current assets is there under IGST 27,000, under SGST 1,530, under CGST 1,530. And what are the output liabilities? Please speak out. What are the liabilities? What are the amounts, liability amounts?
18,000, 13,500, and 13,500.
For IGST, CGST, and SGST respectively, right?
Yes, sir.
18,000, 13,500, 13,500.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, how we have to find out what is the net amount payable? Okay. How to adjust that thing? That is, we have to take a decision now. So as you know, our liabilities is like that, as you told, 18,000, 13,500, 13,500. And earlier we have understood what is the rule, how we can apply our input credits. First, IGST needs to be exhausted. Okay. So first, IGST, my credit balance are 27,000. First, it will be utilized for IGST. So once IGST liability is 18,000, 18,000 is adjusted, the remaining IGST is 9,000. Okay. Next, I will adjust IGST before using CGST and SGST for SCGST and SGST liability. This 9,000 we have distributed between CGST and SGST. So 4,500 each, 4,500 each. But if you want, it can be done in different order at this stage. Okay, it can be done in different order. Okay. Now, the balance money, balance liability is CGST 9,000, SGST 9,000. Okay. We have CGST input tax credit, SGST input tax credit. What can be done now? First, CGST input tax credit 1,530 adjusted. SGST input tax credit 1,530 adjusted. So how much is payable for CGST? 7,470. Okay, and SGST payable is 7,470. So total amount is payable 14,970. Okay, so initially the liability was 27. Initially liability was, I think, 27,000. It got reduced to 14,940. Okay, by adjusting input credit. Did you understand this? Is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now entries, how to, we need to understand how to make this setup entry. First, set up IGST. So what we have done, output IGST account, this much of liability, output CGST amount, this much of liability, output SGST amount, this much of liability got settled by, or you can say we have set off this liability, so it's an input credit of IGST. So 27,000 IGST got adjusted. I distributed the 27,000 IGST balance, which was my debit balance with these three accounts. Okay, so IGST is 0. Next, what I did, there was still some CGST liability. There was some CGST credit. So CGST credit adjusted with CGST liability 1,530. Similarly, SGST credit got adjusted with SGST liability 1,500. Okay, after that, still I have to pay 7,470 as SGST, 7,470 as SGST. What I will do, I will immediately transfer money to my electronic credit ledger. So electronic credit ledger account debit to bank 14,490, 14,490. Okay, finally I will be making payment through electronic credit ledger. So my remaining part of output liability for CGST and output liability for SGST, that is 7,470 each, got settled by payment through electronic cash ledger 14,090. So money transferred to electronic cash ledger, then it is used for paying 9,000, 14,090. Input credits are available in electronic credit ledger, but if you deposit cash will be available in electronic cash ledger. That is the difference. That is why in our basic chapter we have understood what is cash ledger, what is credit ledger. Okay, understood? These are the basic entries. Once again, I will explain you these things in a different situation. But here you have to understand what is the impact of this kind of transaction, or impact of GST on our financial statement. That is impact on balance sheet and impact on statement of profit and loss. We should be able to find. Now, what do you think? Now, can you tell me what is the impact on, let us say, first of all, statement of profit and loss? Now, please, some of you, we should be able to analyze this concept. What is the impact? What you have seen? Aditi, can you tell me? Just a simple question. What is the impact of GST on profitability?
Sir, I need some time. Just 1 minute.
Yeah, what is that? Will you please repeat yourself?
Yes, sir, yes, sir. It's just my hands were dirty, that's why. Sir, on profit, sir, I think the profit is like reduced. Like in the balance sheet, it is reduced because of the GST payable amount.
You think so? But practically you analyze what is happening. GST reduces the cost or expenses.
Yes, sir.
Is it not? GST reduces.
Yes,
Because on the say, on let us say on supply, whatever GST amount is payable, you are able to set it down. You are able to adjust that thing. You are able to reduce your GST liability by taking ITC. Since ITC is available, so even if you are purchasing something, purchasing some material, you are utilizing the ITC. See not? So logically, if you analyze what will happen, your costs are getting reduced. When cost is getting reduced, it should improve profitability.
Yes, sir. It increases profit.
Got it, got it. Now, somebody else,
Yes,
please
sir.
tell me, somebody else, let me ask Anurag. Anurag, please unmute yourself and please reply. Think of what is the impact on balance sheet items. Anurag, please unmute yourself. Well, in his absence, Drishti, can you reply? Anurag is
Yes,
not there,
sir.
I guess. So, yeah, Drishti, please.
So,
Yeah, please.
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay, you are not sure. Okay, Anurag, your mic is not working. You are replying. Aditi has replied already. Mridula, can you explain? Just what do you think? Can you think of any impact on balancing or balance sheet item? Let us say impact on assets, maybe current assets, maybe non-current assets.
So aren't the GST input credit recorded as other assets?
Sorry, please repeat.
So, so the input credit, the input GST, so isn't it recorded as other assets? So I'm not sure. So
Yeah, input credit is a kind of current asset, and your output liability is a kind of current liability. That is one thing. But the impact is that you see, when you are purchasing an asset, you are paying GST on it. But since you are able to use that GST to reduce your cost, because you are availing input credit on this, ITC is available. So effectively, asset cost is reduced. The GST component, which is included in the cost of asset, you can use that GST component for something else. Therefore, the value of asset is effectively reduced. Are you getting the point? Okay, if you talk about the non-current asset one. Coming to current asset, there will be some GST assets, there will be some GST liability, but on regular basis, they will be settled or they will be matched. They'll match each other, there will be zero. Okay. Okay, did you understand this? So impact is that the ITC will be reducing the value of non-current assets. That is the impact. Well, friends, so once again, I'm going to share the screen with you. Some other aspects, some different kind of entries we'll be learning now. Screen is visible to you. Screen is visible to you. Please reply.
yes, sir.
Yeah. In the previous class, I was showing you this GST invoices. So, every invoices contains various items. GST amounts are also separately shown. Okay. So, coming to accounting aspects. So, in these areas, accountings are more relevant. That is purchases, supplies, input tax credits, set-off, deposits, composition transaction, reverse transaction, like this various areas accounting are involved. And every case when there is a purchase or sales transaction or supply transactions are there, inward supply. Purchases will be calling them as inward supply. Sales will be calling them as what we can call sales. If purchases are inward supply, then sales are outward supply. Right. In future, we'll be using this kind of wordings many times. Inward supply, outward supply. Okay, in the subject GST. So when you're saying inward supply, don't think that we are supplying. This is inward supply means purchase. Okay, but it includes both the things, goods as well as services. Therefore, we are using a common word supply. We are calling it as inward supply. But outward supply means not only sales, it may be sales, it may be supply of services also. Therefore, common wording is used, outward supply. Okay, and whenever there is an inward supply, one current asset in the form of ITC is generated. As you have seen, ITC can be in the form of CGST, SGST, IGST, or even in the form of sales also. Okay, and similarly, when the supply is made, outward supply is made, credits are available in CGST, IGST, SGST, and sales. Okay, and these credits needs to be set off against the liabilities, and the final amount has to be paid through electronic credit ledger. This concept we had discussed earlier. Okay, now coming to some legal aspects, there are many issues in fact in GST accounting. since you are learning this GST law, so those accounting aspects or those bookkeeping aspects which are legally prescribed, we need to understand that thing. If you read section 35(1) of CGST Act and also the rule 56(1) of CGST rule, both the rules are 11. If you read, what it suggests that every registered person should keep and maintain at its principal place of business. Okay, as mentioned in the certificate of registration, a true and correct account of the following. The concept might be new to you, or it might be new to the accounting world also. Because in accounting, when you prepare financial statement, we prepare financial statement in such a way that it should show what kind of view it should show. You can tell me the financial statement should show, you can say dash view, fill in the blanks. You can say. Anybody can answer my question. Shweta, can you answer? Financial statement should show dash view, fill in the blanks. Who else can answer? Aditi, can you answer? Others? Ratikant? Okay, doesn't matter. Okay. Have you heard of this concept or not? Please tell me yes or no. Financial statement, what kind of view it should show? It should be prepared in such a way. In the company's law also, you must have studied that financial statement is expected to show what? True, and let me say true and dash view. Now, who else can say? Well, am I audible to you? Yeah. If someone is responding, it seems true and
Repeat.
So
okay.
Please
true
repeat.
and correct account should be the answer if you're.
True and fair.
True and fair, right? So most of us know that some of you have already answered now that the financial statement is expected to show true and fair view. That is also legal requirement of company's law and other things also, other regulators also insist on that. But if you see when you are reading GST law, it might be appearing little exceptional because what is the requirement? It is not saying it should show true and fair view. What it is saying, it should show true and. Can you read it here?
True and correct.
Correct view. True and correct view. That means with respect to these areas which are listed here, that accounting record that you are maintaining, that should be 100% correct. It's not that it is a fair view. When you say fair view, that means there might be some immaterial errors. Errors might be there, omissions might be there, but they are considered immaterial. Okay, but when you're saying true and correct view, we have to understand that the financial statement or these kind of records contains no errors, whether it is material or immaterial. That means whether minor or major, there is no error. So we have to maintain or we have to do GST accounting in such a way that it should show true and correct account. Understood? The difference between regular accounting and GST accounting. And this true and correct accounts has to maintain with respect to this thing, production. Inward supply. Inward supply means, who can say what is inward supply?
So purchases
Purchases.
and
Outward supply.
so sales and
Sales.
supply of services.
Yes. Stock of goods. Input credit. Output tax payable. Goods or services are imported or exported. Supplies, attracting payment of tax. on reverse charge, and along with the relevant documents including invoices, bills of supply, delivery challan, credit notes, debit notes, receipt vouchers, payment vouchers, refund vouchers. All these things should be maintained in such a way that it should produce true and correct account. Okay, did you understand this? Now, where this accounts has to be, accounts, the records has to be kept. Okay, at the place of business, if the business is having multiple place of business, then at respective places that can be kept. It's not necessary that everything has to be kept in one place. Okay, so normally in the place of business which is specified in the certificate of registration, including the additional place of business if any specified in the certificate of registration. Okay, in all these places, book these records which are required to prepare true and correct accounts needs to be kept. And these books can be maintained in electronic form also. Electronic books are also included as books of account. Okay, is it clear up to this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now you see, coming to GST accounting part. Just now we have covered some basic accounting, only sales purchase transactions are there. But if you see, there are a list of areas where different kind of accounting is done. Okay, with relation to GST. Various areas are there like outward supplies, inward supplies, distribution of ITC, many concepts we don't know, job work, refund, then GST TDS for e-commerce, okay, for receipt of advance, like this, so many areas are there. So if you consider everything, the GST accounting is a full paper. You can say it's a subject itself. Okay, you can say this is now become a different branch of accounting. So all these things we need not cover, we need not know at this stage. But if you're interested, you can learn out of your own interest. Right? But basic elements definitely necessary. Basic things we should know so that at least we can advise a businessman or we can give advice to an entrepreneur or to the outside community that this kind of records has to be maintained and this kind of entries are to be made. Right? So at a very basic level, we'll be learning few entries. Okay, first we'll see if inward supply, what kind of entries are to be made. I'll be moving slowly, purposefully, so that you'll be able to digest the topic. There might be some complexity. Inward supply, of course, there will be no complexity. There might be some complexity when you'll be learning reverse charge mechanism, what kind of entries has to be made. But try to understand it. Okay, ready? Now you'll be starting it, all the concept wise. Okay, are you ready for this?
Yes, sir.
So,
Okay. Now listen carefully and try to involve yourself. Try to understand those entries. Understanding is more important. You need not remember anything, but you need to understand everything now. And these examples which we are going to take, we have taken some standard assumption. Standard assumption is that CGST rate is 9%, SGST rate is 9%, IGST rate is 18%, and cess is 5%. And when we are taking some base value is always taken 100. On that basis, so we'll be doing some entries, try to understand. Very simple transaction, first of all. When some intrastate supply is made, we are talking about inward supply. When this is supply is made means, understand it is a purchase. Okay, inward supply. For intrastate supply from a registered person. So entries will be purchases account debit or expenses account debit. We have seen it earlier, isn't it? Purchases account debit or expenses account debit. Value is 100 rupees. Then, since it is from registered person, SGST input account, CGST input account, cess if applicable, cess input account. Okay, they are debited 9%, 9% and 5% to vendor account if it is a credit purchase or to bank account 123. Narration you can give intrastate supply receipt. Very simple entry. You must have understood it. Keep on responding so that I can move further. We'll be learning around 17 entries like this. Is it okay? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In case you have any doubt, then feel free to ask me. Now, next area is about this interstate supply. This is also from a registered person. Since it is from registered person and interstate, there will be IGST credit. That means for input, we can avail IGST credit. So, what entry I will be making? Purchases account debit or expenses account debit. That's the base value. IGST input credit will be there. Cess input credit will be there. Cess, if applicable, I'll be recognizing here two assets. So IGST input account debit. Cess input account debit, 5 rupees, that is 5% to vendor account or bank account, 123. This is for interstate supply. Okay, interstate supply means inward supply. Interstate supply from a registered person. So two entries you have seen: intrastate inward supply and interstate inward supply. Fine. Okay. Now supply from a composite dealer. You know, when the composite dealer gives you an invoice, it is not a tax invoice. It is basically a bill of supply. Composite dealer also not supposed to collect GST from you. He is not authorized to collect GST from you. So whatever bill he gives or whatever this the bill of supply he gives, that entire amount is your cost. You cannot take any ITC out of this. So entry for this is that purchase account debit or expenses account debit to vendor account or bank account. If it is a credit purchase, then vendor account. If it is a cash purchase, then bank account. Okay, inward supply received from a person under compositions. Okay, understood? Keep on
Yes,
responding.
sir.
Okay. Point 4. If there is in a normal business also, there will be some supply, inward supply from unregistered person. They are not registered. In those bills also, credit cannot be taken. So entry will be similar to composition scheme. Purchases account debit or expenses account debit to vendor account or bank account. Okay, these are the purchases or inward supplies from unregistered person. Okay, here understood this? Similar to composition scheme, no ITC is available. Now, if there is some inward supply of exempted items or nil rated goods or nil rated taxable supplies, the entries will be also similar. Purchases account or expenses account debit to vendor account or bank account. Okay, no ITC because they are nil rated. ITC is not there, so no point in recognizing some ITC current asset. Okay, so 5 entries you have covered. Is it okay?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
next phase is that money needs to be deposited in electronic credit ledger. Okay, what kind of entries has to be made? If money is to need to be deposited, why money needs to be deposited? Because you might be having some GST liability, how to settle it. So you can open different kind of electronic cash ledgers. Money is to be deposited in electronic cash ledger, right? Different kind of cash ledgers in your books of account. Okay, electronic cash ledger CGST account, electronic cash ledger SGST account, electronic cash ledger SES account, this one to bank. Okay, tax deposited in electronic cash ledger. Okay, now this part is a little complex. Once again, I request you to be very attentive that if reverse charge mechanism is applicable, the concept of reverse charge mechanism you have understood at a very brief level. We'll be learning it in detail subsequently. But what kind of entries has to be made for that? Okay, we'll start from the first entry. Let us say it is an intrastate within the state supply. Okay, It's an inward supply or reverse charge. When purchases are made, what is the responsibility? GST has to be deposited by the recipient. Is it not? It's the
Yes,
supplier's
sir.
responsibility, but since it's reverse charge, the recipient has to take the burden. Has to take the responsibility. Okay. And the recipient is paying GST. Since he's paying GST, the recipient can take input credit. Okay. So what entry will be done first of all? Purchase or expenses account debit. Now watch it carefully. Purchase and expenses account debit. Then SGST interim input account. You are depositing now reverse charge. So finally you will be taking credit of this thing. So first you see interim input accounts debit. Interim in SGST interim account debit. CGST interim account debit. And compensation says interim input account debit. All these three things are there. 2. Output CGST RCM account, that is reverse charge mechanism account. Output CGST RCM account. First one was output SGST RCM account. Then output CGST RCM account. Then output compensation says RCM account to vendor account or bank account. Okay. So 100 rupees you have to pay to the vendor for purchases or expenses. And this much of money you have to deposit 9, 9 and 5 says if applicable. Okay. When it is applicable, you take an interim input credit first of all. I will tell you how it will be again converted into final input credit. Understood this entry? This entry is extremely important. People get confused. People how to make entries for RCM transactions. Okay, so this is a suggested method. Understood this part? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me move further. Then next step is that you have to deposit your recipient. You are the inward. You have received inward supply, but this liability, since it's a reverse charge mechanism, it is your responsibility to deposit the money. How you can deposit? Immediately transfer that money to electronic cash ledger. So e-cash ledger, CGST account, HGST account, SES account, money can be transferred by crediting to bank account. So tax deposited. Okay, now I made this much of money available in the cash ledger so that this much of money can be deposited. Okay, these liabilities can be settled. 9, 9 and 5 rupees. So in respective accounts, money is deposited. Okay. Next step is that money is deposited. Now money has to be paid out of electronic cash ledger. Okay. So this much of credits you have created, that output SGST RCM account, output CGST RCM account, output compensation, these liabilities are created. Now they has to be settled by debit by using the money available in electronic credit ledger. So output SGST RCM account debit, output CGST RCM account debit, output compensation cess RCM account debit to electronic CGST, electronic credit ledger, electronic cash ledger CGST, electronic cash ledger SGST, electronic cash ledger SES. So this shows the payments are made. The obligation you had under reverse charge mechanism, that obligation you have made now. You have already deposited the money. Okay, deposited money in electronic credit ledger and settled that liability. Now, what will happen? Only when you have paid, now you can take, after payment, you can take input tax credit. So what I will do? CGST input account debit, SGST input account debit, compensation says input account debit. I'm taking this input. Now this is current asset. What is to be credited? The interim credit that has been taken, that has to be credited. SGST interim input account, CGST interim input account, and compensation says input account, interim input account has to be credited. Understood this? These credits were created at the first stage. If you see the first transaction, okay, we have debited interim input, interim input, interim input. The same things are credited now.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So can you please go back to the previous slide?
Previous slide. This is one when
So this
tax transferred to this thing. This one, payment of tax under RCM.
sir, this one, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah. Here, what is happening? I had transferred money to electronic cash ledger. The electronic cash ledger is used to settle my reverse charge mechanism liabilities. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
You have to minutely observe this thing. If possible, watch this recorded video later on. You'll be able to understand. Or you can note down these entries. You can pause the video and note down these entries. Recorded video you can watch. You can keep on pausing and recording. You'll be able to understand it. Okay, and I will be sending you some notes also, some reading material which will be also helping you to understand this. Okay. Yeah, this entry I had explained you. Is it not? Now, input tax, finally input tax credit is taken, ITC is taken. Once payment is made, ITC can be taken. When you take the ITC, will credit the interim input tax, which are taken in a fast entry. And final input tax credit is available. Okay, that is about intrastate transaction we have understood. Similar kind of thing you can do in case of interstate. Once again, watch it, how entries can be made. First, when interstate inward supply is made, inward supply means purchases. So I'll debit purchase account or expenses account, ₹100. Since interstate, so IGST interim input account, ₹18. Compensation says interim input account, ₹5. These are the three things which are debited. It's the first entry. Okay. You have to remember that first I am taking credit, but it's an interim credit. Is it not? Therefore, I am taking IGST interim. Okay. Taking credit means taking ITC. This is an asset. Don't think that it is a credit balance. It is a debit balance. Debit balance, it is called as ITC, input tax credit. But this is at this stage, this is again a current asset. But when I'll be making payments, after that, it will be converted into regular ITC, not an interim. The credit will be given to output IGST RCM account, output compensation cess RCM account, and vendor's bank account. These are the three liabilities. Vendor, I have to pay vendor this much of money, and these two money, if cess is applicable, cess, otherwise RCM is to be, is this my liability, this has to be settled. Here I am creating the liability. I can say I am making a due entry here. Okay, understood? Next stage is that tax is to be deposited in electronic cash ledger. Then only I can make payment. So e-cash ledger IGST account debit, e-cash ledger cess account debit to bank account, ₹23. This much of money needs to be deposited. Next, since there is a liability, this has to be settled. How it is to be, how payment is to be made? Output IGST RCM account, which liability I had created. Output compensation cess RCM account, right? ₹18 and ₹5 respectively are settled by using electronic cash ledger. E-cash ledger IGST account 18, e-cash ledger cess account 5. Okay, this entry shows payments are made through reverse charge mechanism. Okay, payments are made. Once payments are made, then final input can be taken. So IGST input account debit, compensation cess input account debit to IGST interim input account to compensation cess interim input account. The interim input accounts are credited and IGST amounts are debited. Okay. Here you can keep in mind this note that input tax credit under reverse charge shall be available in the month in which self-invoice is issued. Under section 31(3)(f), we'll be learning what is self-invoice. So when reverse, you are paying tax under reverse charge mechanism, you can take input tax credit, but for that thing you need to have a tax invoice. You yourself can generate a tax invoice. That is called as self-invoice. We'll be learning that concept later. Okay, I think up to this you have understood. That means up to this means we have covered inward supplies for regular supply and reverse charge mechanism. Okay. Now we are coming to outward supply part. This is simpler thing. You can do it very well. So for intrastate supply is made. Here we have to understand outward supply means sales or service supply. So debtor account or bank account debit, output SGST account, output CGST account, output sales account to sales or services. Sales, services or miscellaneous income, any kind of account can be credited. So bank and debtor can be debited. Okay. So this much of money is received for sales this month, and for various kinds of taxes, for various kinds of GST, this much of money is received. 9, 9 and 5 pieces. For supply is made, we have collected this from the customer, this much of money. 100 rupees as base price, 9 rupees plus 9 rupees for GST, and 5 rupees for sales. Okay. Then for interstate supply, previous one was interstate. For interstate supply, debtors or bank account is debit to output IGST account to output sales account. Since interstate, IGST account will be credited to sales and services account. So this much of money is paid by the supplier, by the customer, which and in addition to that, 18 rupees is collected from the customer as IGST, and 5 rupees from the 5 rupees as sales. Okay, this is in fact interstate supply is made, not interstate purchase. We should treat it as interstate supply made. The outward supply. Okay, understood. And here you have to remember the CGST, SGST, IGST liabilities. What are these liabilities? These are the liabilities. Here IGST liability. This can be settled through electronic cash ledger after adjusting the input tax credit, which are available in electronic credit ledger. Okay, this concept we know. We have already covered entries, so I am not covering that once again. How that will be adjusted. We already know how to do it. Okay. And if outward supply is made under reverse charge mechanism, since we are supplying and it is under reverse charge, then the supplier has got no responsibility about GST. The recipient has to pay, recipient has to understand. So supplier will make a simple entry, debtor account or bank account debit to sales or services account. The base value only will, and the recipient, he will pay GST under reverse charge mechanism, and the entries that we have learned earlier, similar kind of entries they have to pay. Okay, got a fair idea how GST entries are to be made? Yes or no? Got some idea?
Sir.
Yeah. So this is important for us, important in the sense from the practice point of view, from looking at the practical aspects that business houses face, so the practical issues they face that can be addressed if you know these concepts, how GST accounting is to be made. But the concept, again I repeat, concept is vast. There are many more things. These are only at basic level. This much of accounting, we feel that every student should know this much of accounting. Irrespective of his specialization, they should know that how GST transactions are reflected in books, how they can understand the books of accounting. Okay, so thank you very much. We'll catch up with the next subject. Our next subject will be supply. We'll be understanding the concept of supply, which is again a very important and essential element of GST law. We'll start with that in our next class. Thank you very much. We'll catch up at the next class. Thanks a lot.